Bantamweight bout, Chris Gutierrez coming in at minus 275 against Alatengheili, sitting at plus 220, over under 2.5 rounds, minus 275 for the over, plus 220 for the under. This one, we broke it down last week because we thought it'd be on last week's card, but it's going to be on this week's card. And last week we didn't have any lines out. I believe I said minus 250, minus 300 for Chris Gutierrez. So it looks like we were pretty spot on there for the line. But either way, I mean, Gutierrez was supposed to take on Montel Jackson. Jackson pulls out. Alatengheili was supposed to take on Ronnie Yaya, and he gets a step up here in Chris Gutierrez, and he's coming in as an underdog. Both men, decent UFC career. Chris Gutierrez was cracking the rankings, but Alatengheili is 4-1-1 in the UFC, I believe. So it's not a terrible matchup for him. He's got some success in the UFC, but you look at the level of competition. I mean, his wins are Chad Hellinger, Kevin Chrome, and Ryan Benoit. Danan Bakary. He's only lost Casey Kenny. Chris Gutierrez at this point seems like he's made a lot of improvements, but he is coming off his loss to Pedro Munoz, so might be a little bit of a buy low spot, but either way, I mean, he's minus 275, so it's not super low for him. What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely could be a buy low spot. For Chris Gutierrez, though, you look at who he's beaten and how he kind of cracked the rankings. It was Frankie Edgar, Dana Batkari, Felipe Corrales, Andre Ewell. I mean, guys, I don't even know if anybody from that list is in the UFC anymore. So it makes me a little worried. Vince Morales, I mean, there's just not anybody really left that he's fought that are in the UFC and doing any good in mixed martial arts. So that concerns me. I think Alatengheili, if he can get the takedowns going, I don't know. I think he's got the power, obviously. He's going to have to grapple a little bit against Chris. Chris obviously has the leg kicks in his favor. I think he should be more experienced, probably the more dangerous fighter. Overall, I just think he wins this fight. Give me Chris Gutierrez on this one. Not a big Alatengheili guy, honestly. Watching his tape, he hasn't really fought anybody either. I mean, there's a path to victory with the takedowns and control, but outside that, I just don't think he's going to deal with the leg kicks well. I don't think he's going to deal with the striking. He could find a big shot, but Gutierrez has showed he's tough, especially against Munoz. Got cracked, came back into it, landed some good strikes, outlanded Pedro Munoz, of course, over the course of those 3 rounds. So, yeah, give me Chris Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, a pretty decent frame for 135, and the way that he fights, he uses it pretty well, especially with those kicks. He's really kick heavy, and tries to stay to the outside. The problem against Munoz is he was just able to crash in and catch him when he would, try to engage, and landed the more significant blows. So Alatengheili could come in here and do that just like Pedro Munoz did, but I don't think he's near the level of Pedro Munoz. So I think Chris Gutierrez is rightful favorite. He'll be the pick for me. And Alatengheili, pretty negative strike differential, so we never love that. Chris Gutierrez is almost 2 more significant strikes landed than he absorbs per minute, so we love that. And, he'll be the pick for me.